Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Western New York Athletics. We're live here on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm Jacob Falk. Alongside with me is Tim Chifa as we are about to get set for a Section 6 Class B semifinal matchup between the Iroquois Chiefs and the Albion Purple Eagles.
Well, Jake, this is this is what they came out for in August, for those long, hot practices to get to this point, to have a chance to go to the stadium, which is basically every high school football kid in this area's dream, to get a chance to play there. Both teams, on a bit of a winning streak. Obviously, Iroquois, a lot of firepower, 9-0 this season. Beat Cheektowaga last week to go to this game. Albion, a defensive battle last week. I think it was 8-7 victory over Olean. Going to be a good one here, Jake. Obviously, an uphill battle for Albion, which if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Albion is the away team in this matchup. They're 6-2 overall. They're 4-1 in the B North under the helm of first-year head coach David Scripp, who spent the previous 4 seasons as Albion's varsity defensive coordinator and offensive line coach. You mentioned, Tim, in their quarterfinal matchup against Olean. Olean was a well-coached team. The toughest and characters were there for that game. However, Albion matched their ground and pound game that night, rushing for over 100 yards. They defeated Olean 8-7 as both scores were both in the first half, and then it was a true defensive battle in the second half as both offenses, against each other could not be able to respond. Javon Jones for Albion, the only rushing touchdown that came for Albion then was in that second quarter. And then you take a look at Iroquois' quarterfinal matchup. They entered it as the 2 seed in Class B, facing 7-seeded Cheektowaga, blowing them out 45-0. Clytes threw for 5 passing touchdowns. Their sophomore running back, Trevor Berry, who wasn't initially the main running back to start the season for Iroquois, he's turned it on as the season's got along, ran for 124 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, and Jake, one of the things that we talked about before we went on the air, the reason it's such an uphill battle for Albion, they lost their quarterback 2 weeks ago against Medina with a broken fibula. I mean, this kid, Amari Jones, he's 8 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdowns rushing. So he was about 60% of their offense. So Albion's going to have to try to find a way to stay in this game and get something going in the fourth quarter.
And here we go. We start off this game as the ball carrier for Iroquois is tackled in between the 38. They'll actually put him to the 39, and that was who else? The sophomore running back, Trevor Berry, who's not initially known as the return man on this return game once the kickoffs are underway, but he's out there now under his quarterback, Trey Clytes, as they get through the shotgun formation, showing 4 wide receivers to start off. 2 to the left and right of each side. Clytes right next to Berry. This offense for Iroquois has been one of the most dominant ones, and you can see they're also mentally one of the most dominant ones. They get Albion the jump on the right side. And move it. Give Iroquois 5 yards.
So you mentioned the name Trey Clytes, Jake, and that's the name. If you're not familiar with Iroquois, you're going to hear that name a lot. He is a star quarterback, 33 touchdown passes this year, which makes him 5 away from the all-time single-season record for Western New York. The kid is one of the best in Western New York, and you will call his name a ton tonight. Got
a player motion from right to left. Clytes taking a couple steps. Now he's going to roll out to the right, shoots this one downfield, and this one will be underthrown and incomplete. The intended receiver was Nate McGoldrick, and that is Trey Clyte's number 1 guy he has been throughout this season. He's listed at a tight end, where Brady is to Gronkowski, right. Barry is to McGoldrick, as McGoldrick has 15 receiving touchdowns entering this game this season.
754 yards, 15 touchdowns. That was really good coverage by Albion. They're in a prevent defense, trying to keep everything in front of them.
So 2nd down at 5. RPO action. This one's now caught by McGoldrick. Able to break off 1 tackle, but he's brought down and taken into Albion territory at the 36-yard line. Give that about a 26-yard gain and an Iroquois first down.
And you see the connection again with Clytes and his receiver there. It's he's going to look for him all day long. But you see Kleitz, it's not your typical high school quarterback. He scans the field as good as any quarterback in the area, and it's a college-looking like quarterback.
Excuse me, that was actually a pass of 20 yards as they go 5 wide. Kleitz all by himself, facing the pressure right away, and chucks this one out of bounds, incomplete, intended receiver, number 17, Andrew Trabuco.
And a really nice job by number 7, Jameek Riley, getting some pressure on Kleitz, and I think that's what Albion has to do. They have to get him rattled a little bit. You can't let him get comfortable in the pocket because he will pick you apart. So look for a lot of blitzes from Albion. They kind of have to have the what do we have to lose type of attitude tonight. They're going against a 9-0 Iroquois. A chance to go to the stadium. Look for a lot of aggressiveness from Albion.
Kleitz now taking a quick look, seeing if he likes what he sees on the defensive side. Takes a snap, and a flag has been thrown. Talk about Albion. They lose their star player in Amari Jones, who was, basically, majority point of that offense as this penalty will move back Iroquois. They have to look to some of their guys. Javon Jones is definitely a guy who's got to step up big, and Jameek Riley. Not only on the offensive side, Javon Jones and Jameek Riley have probably arguably the 2 best defenders on this team.
Right.
Riley coming in, as we saw with that pressure against Kleitz, has 3 sacks on the season, and then Javon Jones has done a good job in the pass defense with 5 interceptions of his own. So 2nd down and 15. Here's the play, and there is Jameek Riley able to bring down Kendall Mariacker behind the line of scrimmage, and this will bring up a 3rd and long.
So another huge defensive play by Riley. Stayed home on the end around, didn't bite, and for another big loss, bringing up a big 3rd and 19. So far, Albion's defense up to the task so far. Again, not letting Kleitz get comfortable. 3rd and 19, just got to keep it in front of them, not let them get a big chunk here. They'll probably go for it if they get about 10 yards.
They go 4 wide, trips to the right for Kleitz, 1 to his left. The snap, taking about 3 steps, chucking this one downfield, and this one will fall incomplete. McGoldrick, the intended receiver, Kleitz' favorite target to go to, but unfortunately this one just sailed a little bit over McGoldrick's hands. 4th down coming up for Iroquois.
Yeah, nice job there by the defensive back, number 8, Ozzy Matos, staying with the receiver. And, the first task for Albion, good job getting the ball back and, getting this high-powered offense off the field, which they have to do to stay in this game. Got to get Kleitz off the field as much as possible.
And a good job only for Iroquois to have that ball for less than 2 minutes as a beautiful punt will now get a sliding player down to around the 1 or 2 yard line. So Albion did a phenomenal job on the defensive side, but Iroquois special teams came up big, and Albion will have a long way to go for their first offensive drive.
Yeah, that was a great punt by Arkadapani. Got a great roll, and just before he slid in the end zone was able to stop it. So the uphill battle starts right now with a different quarterback. I talked to the coach before the game, Jake. They're going to switch on and off. I went down there and said, hey, who you playing a quarterback? He goes, I'll give you a list of names. So they're going to try everything they can. And I think the game plan, Jake, for Albion is stay with them, and in the 4th quarter try to take advantage of it.
We do apologize if our camera might be going in and out or might be out right now, but we're still going live as we'll be a bit more detailed as this game goes along. 10:04 remaining in the first quarter. Here's the snap. Here's the carry. Cutting it right up the gut. And good job able to get some progressing yards as the ball keeps going and being down at around the 4 yard line. So pick up about 3.
So it looked like they had number 4, Jacob Houston, in a quarterback at that particular play. Just a quick little give to try to give them some room to not be in their own end zone. Looks like they got a couple of yards. They didn't update the scoreboard yet, so I'm not sure exactly how many. But they're trying to get some room to not, have that worry about that safety. So they're about on their own 4 yard there right now, 2nd down.
So it's 3 yards, but nonetheless makes it a little bit easier, giving a little bit more wiggle room. Here's now Wildcat formation, trying to get it up the gut and right up the middle. Had a hard time seeing who might have been that player. Looked like that was number 4 for Albion. That was Jacob Houston there on the carry. That takes it right to the 10-yard line. Still having a couple more yards to go. Actually, he just got 1 yard left for the first down.
Yeah, so big play here for Albion to try to keep the chains going a little bit. Look for maybe a quarterback sneak to try and get the first down here. If he's under center, look for the go right up the gut here.
You mentioned Amari Jones is out for this game, so there'll be a lot more wildcat formation or a couple of guys that technically going at quarterback. The snap, the carry to the right side. And this one, the line judge are staying at the 10-yard line, so no gain on the play. Fourth down up for Albion.
Yeah, I mean, decision time already. I mean, it's a huge, if they go for this, Jake, and they don't get it, I mean, they're basically giving up a touchdown here. So it looks like they're keeping their offense on the field unless their number 4, the quarterback, is also the punter, which, could be. But a huge 4th and 1 here, and let's see if Albion's going to gamble.
So it's Houston that's gaining a lot of the play calling from the head coach. So even though they're technically in a wildcat formation, he's getting a lot of those play calls. They're going to go for it. They cut up the middle. They get the first down and more past the 15-yard line and down to the 18. It was a gutsy call, but they got 8 yards on the play, and the drive stays alive.
You know what? And that's a statement there, Jake. That's a statement that we're not just going to let you roll all over us. We are here. We want to get to the stadium. Yes, we lost one of our best players, but we're here to play. And probably a gamble I wouldn't have taken, to be honest, but got to give them credit. They're playing for the win here, nothing to lose type of attitude.
Well, stay in that same formation, got a bunch towards the right side. Houston claps his hands, trying to cut up to the middle, now going to the right side, trying to shake off one defender by his legs as he got past the 20 and down to, we'll say, the 25-yard line, a pickup of about 7.
Yeah, another nice job by the quarterback. This is it's just a wildcat. That's all they're going to do. Look for Iroquois to start putting 8, 9 guys in the box, maybe daring them to throw. Without your starting quarterback, it's going to be a tough task. So let's see if Iroquois can make an adjustment. So far, the Albion offensive line doing a really good job.
Here's now Jaquez Johnson trying to go up the left side, and he got hit hard. But they did get past the 25. They gained maybe about a yard, maybe 2. Now bring up a 3rd and short. So they're doing a lot of mix-ups. You had Jacob Houston there getting the calls, and now you got Jaquez Johnson getting the calls from his head coach as well.
Right. So, one of the good things so far that Albion's doing, Jake, is they're not putting themselves in a long 3rd and down, an obvious passing. They could still try to run the ball to get this first down.
Snap a bit high, tries to use the blocking, and he is stuffed. Back to the 26-yard line. No credit, no gain. So it'll be another 4th down and short. And you had the ball at your own 10-yard line. You went for it. Wouldn't be shocked if they go for it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. This one a little bit longer, 4th and 2. They only needed about a half a yard last time. But I think they're going to keep the offense out there and be as aggressive as they can. But like we said, keep that offense for Iroquois off the field, and that's what they want to do.
Jacob Houston for Albion comes back into the game. He's back there with that formation. The snap, they move to the right, trying to get it up, and he may have gotten a yard, but he needed 2 for the first. And it didn't look like he got the first down marker. The refs are going to decide it.
They're going to measure.
And they're going to take an official's timeout. They're going to take a look at this, and this should bring out the chain gain.
From what we saw, Jake, I thought he was short, so it's going to depend on the spot, obviously. Unfortunately, we don't have a replay to be able to see it, so it's going to depend on the spot. What do you think, Jake? I can't. It's really close.
So it looks like from the marker, they had to get to the 28 for the first down. It looks very, very close, and if it's not, that football is just inches, if not maybe centimeters away from that 28-yard line. But now they're going to bring the chain gain out. They're going to jog out here. They're going to find out for themselves and find out for everyone here, did Albion keep the drive going, or is Iroquois going to have tremendous field position?
They got it.
And he got it.
Wow.
Jacob Houston just getting enough, and the drive stays alive.
Maybe a favorable spot, but, Albion aggressive again, running that clock, getting that Trey Kleitz cold on the sideline. Let's not let him get warm. But another great job. Got to give credit to the Albion offensive line, getting a little bit of a surge, getting down low, and giving the space for the 2 yards there.
drive that's lasted almost doubled than what Iroquois' first drive was, and they've only moved about 27 yards downfield. Here's now the carry to the right side, trying to get some blocking. He just got a couple of yards past the original line of scrimmage. That was number 6 for Albion, Javon Jones. So he got tackled around his own sideline, maybe gained about a yard. They'll actually credit him 2 on the play.
And you see the last couple of plays Iroquois did. They are moving their strong safety up to almost a linebacker position. So they're right at a point where they have about 8 in the box right now. Again, daring them to throw. Look for a possible play action. Try to dump it over the top just to take a chance here. The middle of the field is wide open.
How about this for Albion? They're going to spread it out. 4 wide. Option play. They're going to do a draw play, trying to cut it up the middle. They gain a couple of yards. On that one, the full little bit of Iroquois to spread them wide so they can get some space up the middle. But in this case, it only gets them a couple more yards, and that will bring up another 3rd down.
Yeah, so this is the longest 3rd down they've had, Jake. I think it's about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. So usually a typical passing situation. But it looks like they're going to go for it every 4th down. So it seems to be 2 downs to get 5 yards.
And not only that, so far in this drive, you've already seen about 3, if not maybe 4 people that have came in at quarterback. Yes. Javon Jones, Houston, and Jaquez Johnson as well. So it's 3rd and 5. Here's a snap. Feeling the pressure. They throw this one. This one's caught by Houston. Tries to cut it right back up the middle. Breaks off one to tackle. Breaks off another. Gets it to around the 40-yard line. And that was, the 35-yard line. That was an impressive 2-yard gain. But unfortunately, that's going to be short in another 4th down for Albion.
Yeah, so the first pass attempt for Albion was a rough one. They had a lot of pressure in his face. I mean, you're not a typical quarterback. You really don't know how to handle that too often. Kind of just threw it up. Good job by Houston to at least get at least back to the line of scrimmage. 4th and 5. They do look like they're going to punt here, Jake.
They killed off a lot of time, and now we'll get a timeout called here. This is going to go for, I believe that was Iroquois. So that'll be their first of the half. 2:57 remaining in this Class B semifinal matchup. We are scoreless. I'm Jacob Falk. Alongside me is Tim Chifa. We'll be right back.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNY.
We welcome back everyone to Western New York Athletics. Albion decides to punt it. They get it back to Iroquois territory, down to the 38-yard line. And with 2:48 remaining in the first quarter, Iroquois only going up for their 2nd offensive drive.
Yeah, Jake, this might sound, a little crazy, but I think that's a successful first offensive drive for Albion. Couple first downs. Remember, they started from their own 2-yard line. So got some positive yardage, and like we said, kept the high-powered offense off the field for about 5-6 minutes. So, again, they just want to try to stay in this game as long as possible and take advantage of it at the end.
They go 5 wide, trips to the left of Kleitz, 2 to his right. Here's the snap. Quick look to his left. Short pass to McGoldrick. Gets a little bit of blocking past the 45 and down to the round. Say the 47-yard line. A pickup of about 9 yards. And a nice little job for Kleitz to get to his main target in McGoldrick. And that should open up a little bit more of the passing game as this drive goes along.
Yeah, another great job by Kleitz checking it down to his main target there, moving the chains. 9 yards. This is the area where they'd like to try to take a shot deep, second and 1. So look for them to try to go up top here.
Snap. Feeling pressure, rolling out, fires it. Nice comeback route, but they're going to say an incomplete pass. The intended receiver to number 18, Pete Gaglio. And that will be a 3rd and 1.
Yep. Jake, it looked like there was a little miscommunication between the center and the half of the line. Definitely wasn't a smooth play call. I don't know if the center snapped it early, but wasn't a really pretty looking play there, and he just underthrew him a little bit.
You have to think maybe that route by Gaglio wasn't initially intended at first because Kleitz was trying to signal him for him to come back so he could make that throw on the run. So 3rd down and 1. And the flag has been thrown.
Yeah, they're gonna get a false start on the Iroquois.
Albion was pointing over to Iroquois' offense. Had a hard time seeing up here who jumped a little bit. But nonetheless, it's going to be a false start on Iroquois and move them back.
You know, that's a second penalty on Iroquois before the play was even snapped. That would drive coaches crazy. You know, it's one thing if you get a hold call or something while you're trying to make a play, but mental mistakes before the ball is snapped, that's already 10 yards of loss on penalties like that. That'll drive the coaching staff crazy.
Kleitz stomps his foot down, claps his hands, a snap, draw play to Barry on a 3rd and 7, and he makes a huge effort to not only get the first down, but get it across to Albion territory. And the Chiefs did a phenomenal job on the blocking there. You know, usually, when you see long, technically that's a 3rd and medium to almost a 3rd and long. You want to throw in that situation, but they trust the sophomore running back in Trevor Barry to get him the yards, and he did.
Yeah, and when you throw so much, Jake, when you throw in a run, it actually it throws the defense off a bit. So a great job there by Barry, who's kind of an unsung hero so far this year, and running back for Iroquois.
The 4 wide receiver set. Here's a snap. Down the field, and what a catch by McGoldrick, and a dart thrown by Kleitz. On the coverage there for Albion was number 8, Ozzy Matos, and that was all he could do. It was great coverage, but a beautiful throwing catch from Kleitz to McGoldrick, and another Iroquois first down.
That pass right there, Jake, is what separates Kleitz from 95% of the quarterbacks in Western New York. He read a blitz. Most high school quarterbacks don't see that. It was a blitz read, dumped it right over the middle, and a great catch by his biggest target there, McGoldrick.
The snap, the pass downfield, and there is Trevor Barry. And he's tackled in the end zone for the touchdown. With 1:03 remaining in the first quarter, Trevor Barry able to strike first from Kleitz to Barry, his 34th touchdown of the season for Kleitz.
Yeah, another great job by Barry. Offense, he's checking it down, looking for the open man. And we talked about Barry, another great job. What a great weapon he's going to be, as a sophomore right now, Jake. He's got a great future ahead of him.
Snap, the kick is on the way, and this one is good. From number 28, Josiah Arcatapani there, their punter and kicker able to get the extra point with 1:03 remaining. Iroquois up 7-0. We'll stay here because I definitely want to talk about real quick from the sophomore running back Trevor Barry. A quick story on him. It didn't take long for head coach Pazanka for Iroquois to realize, how special he had something with Trevor Barry. In week 2 against Tonawanda, Kleitz did what he was supposed to, threw for 3 touchdowns, but it was when Barry really shined as he ran for 75 yards in that game and had 3 rushing touchdowns plus a 66-yard touchdown reception that helped him beat Tonawanda 46-6. And that was when Pazanka realized, even though he was a sophomore, he had something really special in this player, and he wanted to start him right away. And that's what they did in week 3, as they just won big, 51-14. And if you thought Barry had a great game in week 2, week 3 it was just as good, if not better. Still had 3 touchdowns on the ground and a touchdown reception, but he ran for 245 yards, cementing himself as a starting running back on this roster.
Jake, listen to these real quick. As a sophomore, 1,128 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns, receiving 483 yards and 6 touchdowns receiving. This kid's a sophomore. I mean, I know that Kleitz is going to get all the love, but this kid's a superstar.
And with this return, they're going to try and reverse, and Iroquois did not bite on it at all, as Javon Jones is taken down at around the 22-yard line.
So, Jake, huge, obviously a huge week for football. Some other games going on right now, some other scores. Bennett up 8-0 on Orchard Park. We have a staff over there. And Jamestown up 7-0 on Mill South. So some huge games all over Western New York. Western New York Athletics doing several games all weekend, trying to get you guys as much football as we possibly can. But this is I think the best week I think it's the best week of the year for high school football because these are great teams left, trying to get one game left to get to the stadium.
First down and 10, Houston trying to run it up the gut, getting it past the 25 up to the 30-yard line. That's where they'll have them spotted. A pickup of about 7.
So another good job by Houston. He's running the ball really well. They're seeing something they like up the middle, Jake, because even though there's about 4 or 5 linebackers up there because they're putting everybody in the box, still having a lot of success going up the middle. And you got to give credit to the Albion offensive line. That can't happen if you're losing the trenches. Albion getting a good push and getting in manageable situations with 2nd and 3.
Houston will stay back there. They have 3 extra blockers right behind the offensive line. They use them all. Houston now going to try to cut to the right side, trying to get an extra blocker to help him get him a couple more yards. But he's taken down. He gains maybe about a yard or 2. And that will bring up 3rd and short.
That's the end of the quarter, buddy.
And with that clock will strike 0. We have now entered the end of the first quarter. Iroquois up 7-0 from a strike by Trey Kleitz to Trevor Berry. This is Western New York Athletics. We'll be right back for the start of the second quarter.
When you're ready to buy a home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. You can find new listings before they appear anywhere else and refine your search for immediate notifications of similar properties. Plus, get pre-qualified to make your offer stronger and connect with a local Howard Hanna agent who knows your area and how to close the deal. So when you're ready to buy, visit howardhanna.com and find your home fast.
I love being home.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics. We're just about to get started with the second quarter, and obviously Albion and Iroquois already are in this Class B semifinal matchup, and Houston trucking one of the Iroquois defenders, able to tag along a couple more and get taken down at the 40, a pickup of 9, and a Purple Eagles first down.
Another great job by Jacob Houston, the junior running back / quarterback / receiver, stepping in a big spot, some big shoes to fill, like we mentioned earlier, and another nice first down, keeping the clock running, trying to stay in this game as long as they can with keeping Kleitz off the field. And we saw what happened last time. As soon as he got on the field, boom, 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 touchdown. Doesn't take him long at all.
The first down and 10, it's Houston once more, and this time he gets swallowed up. And they keep throwing him back down, and now the refs will signal a call. And it looked like that was number 50 for Iroquois, Matt Mercurio there to come up with the initial tackle. And I'll tell you what, Mercurio is definitely one of those guys you're going to have to look out for in terms of the defensive side. Not only, can some of these players like Trabuco play on defense who has 3 interceptions, Mercurio leading the team with tackles for losses, and also has 13 sacks on the season.
And you saw why right on that play. Thought the whistle should have been a little bit sooner than it was. But again, 2-yard loss there for the Albion offense.
A snap this time to give it to Jones. They try to cut the outside. Jukes right up to get an extra blocker. And that was a good job by Jones to use the blocker, getting it back to the original line of scrimmage and a couple of yards more. 3rd down and 8.
So, Jake, this is the problem with this kind of offense. when you get up a long third down play, and you don't have a huge passing attack, you don't have a ton of options. So this is what they try to avoid. They want 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s, not 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. So this is a tough situation here for Albion, who is, I think they throw one pass, kind of got batted up in the air a little bit. I think it was a gain of 0. So let's see if they can try something different here. Again, the middle of the field, right, it is wide open if they can take a shot with maybe a tight end.
Snap. They're going to throw it. Has a tight end open, and he gets it. Into Iroquois territory, caught by number 80. Looks like that was number 84 for Albion. Unfortunately, I don't see him here on this roster, but he makes a great catch and basically called it right there. Tim tried to find the tight end. They did, and got the first down.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about, Iroquois, they're going to move guys up, and they have to do that because it's going to be a 90% run. But that does leave the middle of the field wide open. Obviously, they saw the same thing I did, so a great job by Albion taking what Iroquois is giving them.
So with another run up the gut, they're able to gain about 4 yards on the play, tackled it around the 30-yard line. Now it's Houston once more on the carry.
One of the things I'm worried about, Jake, is, Houston, he's going to have about 50 carries at this point. I hope he's ready for that type of ball game, because they are going to the well quite a bit with this kid. But he's getting 4 or 5 yards a pop, so you got to keep going with it. 2nd and 6 here. Another great job by the offensive line. Let's see what the Albion offense can do here.
2nd down and 6. Houston, they give it off on a nice handoff right back up the middle. They get past the 32 around the 27-yard line. That's Bryce Froman, the senior running back, getting a couple more yards, inching him closer to the red zone.
Yeah, so the last three defensive plays, Iroquois has blitzed either a safety or a linebacker, and what they're trying to do is get an extra player, one more player than Albion on the offensive line has, to try and make it tough to run. So let's see if Iroquois keeps being that aggressive, because if you do that and you happen to throw, that middle of the field will be wide open again. Again, there's no one back there right now again.
3rd down and 3, Houston on the right side, trying to get a little bit blocking. Just got enough for the first down. He actually got about 3 or more yards past the first down marker, and this Purple Eagles drive stays alive. To go back to that play from Javon Jones over to the tight end on the big play, the person who made that catch was number 84, Aquil Gaffney. On this Section 6 sheet, they have him as 85, but he's number 84. Aquil Gaffney, who had that big catch to help set up Albion for good field position down the stretch of this drive.
Yeah, Gaffney, the junior, 6'4", 185. That's a big target. Look for him to catch another one of those balls.
Houston once more trying to move to the left, and he's immediately stopped. Had McGoldrick at first, but then was met up by a couple of Iroquois players. Arcadepani and Trabuco also there on the tackle.
Yeah, Nate Blair in the tackle also, the sophomore. Another good job there. 2nd and 12 again. Keep going to the well with number 4. It's going to be tough. So they're, like you mentioned, Jake, they are subbing in and out quarterbacks constantly. So let's see if they can do it here.
Right now they got Jameek Riley, who's been their amazing pass rusher. Now he cuts to the left side. He's got nothing but wide open space, and he will jog it into the left corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Albion.
Another great job by Albion's offensive line. They were able to seal the end, and that was Riley who able to get to the outside. He had, no one was even near him, Jake. So great. That's all the offensive line. Great job. And so far, Albion offensive line is beating up the defensive line for Iroquois, and looks like they'll line up and go for 2 here. So try to take the lead.
Jameek Riley has shown some bursts of speed on 2 plays. On the defensive side, was pass rushing against Kleitz to get him some pressure, and now on offense, he cut to the outside while trying to disguise running up the middle to get the touchdown. Now they're going to go for 2. Here's Javon Jones. That one's back to Riley. He tries to dive in.
Short. Wow.
And he is short. Short of the end zone. The 2-point conversion is no good. And we got 6:40 remaining in the first half. Albion strikes with their first touchdown. It was a touchdown run by Jameek Riley. They could not get the 2-point conversion. And Iroquois will come back up 7-6. 6:40 remaining in the first half. We'll take a break in the action. You're watching Western New York Athletics live.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to wnyimmediatecare.com for more information.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight.
We welcome back everyone to Western New York Athletics as we're just about to get set up for the kickoff. A high arcing boot goes to around the 25-yard line, but the return opportunity for Trevor Berry, his second one, and this one doing a good job getting past the 40 to around the 42. And Iroquois, for the third drive, will have really good field position with 6:32 remaining in this second quarter with a chance to extend this lead.
Jake just got another text. Another huge game out in Lancaster. Clarence. Lancaster is up 7-0 on Clarence.
With Kleitz and Berry next to each other, they go 4 wide, trips to the right, 1 to the left. That's McGoldrick all by himself against the Albion defender, Ozzie Matos.
That's a big task for Matos there.
And it looks like we had a change of the footballs. Kleitz going for a quick snap to try to draw off Albion. Didn't work. Now he takes a snap. 3 quick steps. One-on-one downfield. And this one is incomplete. So Matos has done a good job to get on McGoldrick. And that time for McGoldrick just couldn't corral it in.
We just talked about that right before the play call was snapped, Jake, that one-on-one coverage. I think Kleitz, he'll like that all day. But you got to give the coaching staff some credit for Albion. They have a lot of faith in number 8 there, Ozzie Matos, because that is one of the premier receivers in Western New York, and they're letting him play him one-on-one.